When myself and Tom first started working on the Deadwood project, it was a really unique experience because we didn't get the assignment brief straight away, and that gave us an opportunity to do something that so far any other module hasn't enabled us to do. We got to work like we would in industry. A lot of times in industry what happens is you don't get the story, you don't get what you're going to be doing, so you make things in advance. Myself and Tom, we found this really simple. We decided in the first and second week that we were going to work together, and from knowing each other beforehand really helped us narrow down some ideas, so we could sit down and say, okay, I like doing this, I don't like doing this, I like this type of film, this type of game, this type of music, and same for myself. And what we found was we slowly narrowed it down. It was like, okay, well, what about a Western level? We don't want to do this, this, and this, but a Western level sounds really unique, right? No one else is going to do that. No one else is going to try that. This kind of emphasized the fact that a lot of people were going to use models inside of the engine, and we really wanted to stretch away from that and do our own thing. This would help us give our own feel to the level. What we seen was, okay, people are going to be using sci-fi things and quite generic models. What can we do to make ours stand apart and actually capture people's imaginations and actually give our own feel for the game? Western was our option, and Western is what we went for. And from the very get-go, within the first couple of weeks, we had a lot of custom assets, we had a lot of ideas that we wanted to work with. This really opened things up for us. We didn't just have to narrow ourselves down by, okay, well, these models can fit here and do this. We think, okay, well, we've got all our own assets, what do you want to do with these? When the brief came around and we got the 4 options, we were thinking, okay, well, how can we mold, not restart the level, but how can we mold our level, what we have so far, into this brief? We eventually decided on Fortress, and it was actually a real breath of fresh air to the project, because we didn't just sit there and think, okay, what we're going to do. It was, alright, we got a lot of assets, a lot of textures, we got quite a lot of room to work with, and we've got more assets than we would need for 2-3 levels. How are we going to do this? And it was really good. It was a lot of good fun to make our own assets and actually merge everything together. From one of the very early builds of the game, me and Tom actually tried breaking the level continuously. This helped us do a lot of things. It helped us guess how players were going to play, and eventually determine what they were going to play like. This also helped us add in things like collision. What you can see on your screen now is how we developed collision. A lot of it was done with inside Maya, some of it was done with inside the automatic collision inside UDK. It was a very simple process, and it just helped us pan out the game a lot better. Certain things you can't get up. This is mainly for balancing issues. We didn't want players getting to places where they could camp, get a sniper rifle and just stay. And we also didn't want them getting behind boxes and just staying there. It was a very good learning experience, getting people to play test the game, and we got a lot of good feedback, and it was definitely worth it. When I look at the content browser, I find it very similar to the way you would work in Photoshop or on a project in Photoshop. Everything's layered, everything's in groups, and everything is named. If you do this, your project will go substantially smoother than it would if you don't layer things, if you don't name things, if you don't put them in groups. Everything just becomes a cluttered mess. Thankfully, Tom learnt this from Photoshop and took it straight over into UDK, and he done it exactly the same. He would texture anything he textured, anything he modeled, anything he put in UDK, it would all be in its own project. For example, when he modeled and textured inside Maya, he would put it inside its own project, and that just made the whole process of us working together substantially smoother. When I said at the start that me and Tom really wanted to create a world and give players an authentic experience, it really did matter when it came down to colour. We spent hours and hours looking through reference material and just trying to find the right colours for everything. Whether it was inside, which isn't even in the final game, but we planned inside views. On the outside, we wanted to know what wood to use, whether it was dark wood, light wood, old wood, wood that's been weathered. And I took a shot at trying to weather some of the materials that we used in the game. And all in all, the reference material really helped us, and the colour palette was very important, and I believe it gave a better experience overall. When it came to the layout, it was very easy to look back at the feedback we got from the playtesting, and one of the best things we managed to do from this was even out the map and balance things a lot better. If we had an area that was 200 by 200 and the opposite building was 150 by 200, we evened out that space by adding in incidentals. This gave the level a lot more organic feel and a lot more originality. Everything looks different, but everything still plays the same.